Hey amigos, good evening. It is another video here. I'm so glad you came by. Just got off work a little bit ago and figured I just might get started on this video here. And I know that I said on the last video that after the soft tail the iron head's going to go on the rack, but then I remembered, well, the Electric Glide and the Tramp have some issues that need to be tended to. So I want to get the three running motorcycles in tip-top shape before I occupy the rack with the iron head, because that bike's going to be occupying this rack right here for a while. I kind of foresee that. So one of the many things I'm going to do to this bike right here is something that needed to be done a long time ago. I've just kind of been getting away with, you know, running it like it is, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Some of you may not know it, but this motor right here is not the original motor that was in this bike when it first got built. That's the original motor right there. A little backstory on it. I built that engine for this bike about 4 years ago, I want to say, and it's an 86 to 90 Evo Sportster engine, and it's a 4-speed. Okay, and it was just a little underpowered for what I wanted. At 60 miles an hour, that was pretty much its sweet spot. If I got up to 70, I'd be having a screaming 4,000 RPMs or so. So this motor right here is an 02 Sportster motor, a Sportster R motor actually. Allegedly it's an 883, but it kind of doesn't behave like one, at least not according to that motor right there. One of the things I wanted to do to this bike was, before I gave it this 40-degree rake, I already had these tubes on here, which made the motorcycle sit up at a funny angle. So when the time came where I wanted this frame to be raked to where it would fit the tubes, you know, basically have a better stance, I thought, well, I also want to put a different engine in it. So I found an 02 Sportster for sale, and this person was getting rid of this bike just to get rid of it. They were selling it for parts. I bought the whole thing for the engine. So anyway, I pulled the engine out of it, short story, and I took the 4-speed out and put the 5-speed in its place, and that's the motor right there. But apparently whoever had this motor before me abused the snot out of this engine. I'll show you why. Well, it's a lot worse than I thought. See that? There's some aluminum in the threads. As you can see, the threads in the head for the spark plug are badly damaged. And that's because of whoever had this motor before had at one time cross-threaded the spark plugs into the head. That's one of the things I noticed about this motor when I first got it, is that those threads did not look very good. In fact, you saw me pulling that spark plug out. That's the first time it was tough coming all the way out. It used to be on a regular basis I would have to go back and tighten my spark plug down because I couldn't torque it all the way down because it wouldn't just stop turning. So anyway, that's just one thing wrong with this motor. Okay, I'm going to use this motor as an example. Say this is the motor that's in the Tramp right now, okay? This thing had an S&S intake manifold on there and also an S&S carb. Apparently they had also cross-threaded this bolt and did some damage to the holes. So on the other motor that's in the bike now, there's only about 3 threads holding this part of the intake manifold down. And also when they did that, they caused a crack in the surface of this, but the crack is going this way, not towards the intake part. So it still runs, but I know good and well that the next time that this intake ever comes off of this engine, it's a good chance that I won't be able to reuse that hole again. I talked to Kenny one time about, you know, getting this head fixed, but he said I would be better off just to find a good used set of heads and have somebody go through them and then, you know, do that. So that's what I've done. I've gotten a new set of heads, well, not new, but a used set of heads for this bike right here. And then I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to take the heads off, I might as well just go ahead and address the issue where I've got this oil leak right here from the rear base gasket. So I might as well go ahead and address that, since the cylinders, I can just get them up. But if I'm going to take the cylinders off, why not just go ahead and put some new rings in it and hone the cylinders out? I mean, if it's going to have a fresh rebuilt set of heads on there, why not have a whole nother fresh top end? And when I do that, I'm also going to do this. Check this out. I got a new set of pipes I'm going to put on them. I'm going to keep them wrapped up, so until I'm ready to put them on, I'd like to keep them, you know, kind of protected. But these are made by Moto Iron, and I got these from tcbros.com. And no, they're not sponsoring this channel, but they got some good stuff. So the link to their store is going to be down below in the description. Also, what I got from TC Bros is a new gold chain. So this thing's going to get a golden chain put on it. It's not as much for the flash, but these things are anodized, so they won't rust. This chain got a really bad case of rust on it, and also the pipes got rusted too. So, but while this stuff is off the bike and the top end's all taken apart, I'm going to take this gas tank and this fender. I'm going to take these down to Scooters, and whenever Mark's ready to take them, he's going to give me a really nice paint job on there. I haven't decided exactly what color it's going to be, but I don't want to stray too far from the color it already is, you know? Maybe a little darker brown, I'm not sure. You guys saw what Mark did for the Softail, how he fixed that fender, how he made it look like nothing ever happened to it. Because that's true, that's the man I'm going to go see for this. But enough of my jabbering, John. I'm going to go ahead and get to work on this bike, and who knows, I'm pretty sure this is going to be more than an evening disassembly, because right now it's 6 o'clock my time, and I kind of want to be indoors before 7. Let's see what I can get done in an hour. Okay, so apparently this nut is seized onto the little shaft that's underneath it, and the shaft just keeps turning and turning and turning. I'm gonna have to do, or try to do, what I really don't want to do. Oh man, choppers. Let's see if we can do this without blowing up. Okay, just a little side note. Don't do like what I'm doing right here, okay? If I'd have thought better, I would have put some wet rags over top those gas caps, because there's nothing more dangerous than an empty gas tank, which is what that was when I was doing that. I was fully aware of the dangers, but didn't even bother to think of a way to prevent that from happening. But if you're in that situation, put some wet rags over the gas caps. That way you stand no chance of a spark getting into some fumes that may escape through the vent of the gas cap or something like that. Okay, so before you guys leave nasty comments down below, I know, okay? Well, that went without an explosion. I'm so glad, being that close to a gas cap. I was holding my breath, but unfortunately, got a little bit of a battle scar, got my chrome all scuffed up, but I did not want to destroy this. So it's not destroyed, it's just got a little boo-boo on it. Okay, it is 7 o'clock on the dot. I got as much done as I wanted to get done by that time. So, of course, I'm going to wrap it up for this evening, and I'll get started on whatever I'm going to get started on next tomorrow or the next day or whenever this happens. I really don't know how this video is going to go, so let's just see what happens next. Okay, Another evening after work, and where did I leave off? Okay, as you guys saw, got the gas tank and the fender off. So what am I going to do next? Well, I think we'll just go ahead and start with getting the carburetor off and getting the pipes off, and then start taking the motor apart. And let's just hang out, and you guys just can watch me make a blunder of myself when I try to do this. Okay, like I was saying about the damage on the head, right here, you won't be able to see it too good because the lighting's not very well, but there's the crack going this way, and there's a lot of dirt on it. But good thing it just didn't go that way. But at the same time, there was some of this metal right here, the aluminum was bulged up from when somebody cross-threaded it, and you can see how messed up this hole is. Okay, so I had to take a Dremel tool and barely graze this to make it level with this as possible, but it never got to be where the seal had to be. But nevertheless, I'm pretty sure that being able to pull that bolt out, I won't be able to use that again. But then again, you guys saw how hard it was for that spark plug to come out. Those threads are boogered up. So like I said, this head is junk. So anyway, I'm going to see about pulling the rest of this stuff apart. This is actually a moment I have been waiting for the past, how long ago did I get this motor? Like 4 years ago. Doesn't behave like an 883, at least not in my opinion, but I don't know. Somebody with a 1200 Sportster told me that it was all that they could do to keep up with me. So, I don't know. It says 883 on the jugs. Maybe somebody bored it out. I don't know. But this is a big mystery to me, and I can't wait to see what I've got or what I don't have. Let's see what happens. An 883 has a 3-inch bore. A 1200 has a 3.5-inch bore. So, drum roll. Oh, would you happen to notice that? No wonder it hauls butt. It struggles to do 100 miles an hour because it's running out of chassis, not because it's running out of motor. Holy crap. It kind of makes me smile. Look at that. 3.5-inch bore. Okay, it's another evening after work, and I guess I want to go ahead and start disassembling the rest of this motor and see what other kind of surprises I might find. I mean, that sure was pretty cool to find that my suspicions were real. This bike is a 1200. It's an 883 converted to a 1200. I mean, I can't even believe it. Somebody actually went to the trouble of boring out the original cylinders. I mean, when you bore out an 883 jug to become a 1200, you're going from 3 inches to 3.5 inches. That's a 1/4 inch per side, okay? I mean, most people just buy the kit and put that on because it's less trouble. So that's some precise machine shop work that had been done to make that happen. So, I think I hear a motorcycle pulling up in my yard. I wonder who that might be. Hey, look who it is.
And so here he is. He's going to film me while I'm filming him.
It's the man, the myth, the legend, Scooter Trent Scotty. How about that? Here I am working on my stuff and about to film this video continuance, and all of a sudden this guy has to video bomb me. And look, that's his audience right there. I'm sure some of you watch this too.
So he had that tree fall on his shed. He built his new one.
Hey, we're having a little discussion about function over form. Now, I dig function more than form, but one thing that annoys me, just like, you know, loud pipes annoy the heck out of you, rust just bothers the stew out of me.
Well, all you gotta do is oil the piss out of it and it'll look fine. So all you gotta do is oil it. It won't show that rust anymore.
Well, I got a gold chain now.
Okay.
Well, there I go contradicting myself. It does look cool. And he don't like my pipes either.
I don't like his drag pipes because everything's touring. I'm into touring. You're gonna be hard pressed to ever find a serious tourer that wants a loud bike. Guys that I see all over the country, you know, that I run into at the rallies and stuff that I see every year, they're traveling for days, sometimes weeks. And it's like taking the muffler off your car and then driving across the country a few times.
Yeah.
This ain't your touring bike.
What do you mean I ain't in a touring bike? Look at that.
Sure, that's what everybody tours on.
Yeah.
A rigid frame Sportster. I let him ride mine a while back. And then he went and bought one. He hated baggers. He's one of those I hate baggers guys. Might as well get a car.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did
Now
say
look.
that.
Now look.
Yeah, yeah. I have to eat crow. I have to put my money where my mouth is.
He did too, right? We're both trying to film this stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a pain in the ass. If you never film stuff, you know, it's like effort.
And a lot of times you end up making stuff look a lot more glorious than what they really are. You know?
Like this bike with the gold chain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's putting gold on it.
Hey, take one from
He's
Johnny.
gonna go to Tijuana.
Hey,
It's
take
gonna
one.
be cool with the gold on there. This 883 was made into a 1200, and this is what's interesting. Anybody who's a gearhead, right, is the 883 cylinders have a really thick sleeve in them. Like you can bore them to fit 1200 cc pistons, bigger pistons. What are they? 3.5 inch.
Yeah,
right?
3.5.
Okay.
3 to 3.5. Yeah.
So that, yeah, it's a ½ inch difference, a lot. But the problem is if you use the original heads, it brings the compression ratio up too high. So then you would have to get new heads, right? Okay, so they make this kit, which this bike has, which has pistons that are dished. They're dished in the middle instead of flat.
Mm-hmm.
So they bring the compression ratio down. You guys want to see them? Okay, you see the way that they're dished? Yeah, to bring the compression ratio down.
Or else you'll need rocket fuel to run this thing.
Yeah, because the problem with high compression is it doesn't work with pump gas.
Right.
That's the problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this, man. It's this cool stuff. I'm a Neanderthal.
He's digging on my camera stuff.
Oh, look at this. You got a furry mic.
Well, scratch that. I thought I was going to work on a bike last night, but of all things, Scooter Tramp Scotty had to just kind of show up and say hello. So we just hung out and just talked about this, that, and the other for the evening. So now it's the next day again. So what I'm doing now, what me and the missus are doing, we're running errands, and I got to go to Scooter's. I'm going to drop off my gas tank and my fender to Mark, and he's going to give a really cool paint job. But I don't know what that's going to look like. But I got to talk to him about that. So without any further ado, see you guys at Scooter's. Got the stuff dropped off. Here's the man who's going to do it. He can make it look like I didn't do it, right? Because that's the main thing. I want a paint job that looks like I didn't do it, right? So something professional, something good looking.
I replicate some paint work, but this we won't replicate.
Yeah, whatever that means. Anyway, we're gonna get back to the house. Okay, I guess I'm just going to end it right here, amigos. Oops, sorry about that lighting. A little somebody has got the garage door open. I'm not going to go any further with the filming of this video, but I will film some more. But this segment of doing this job is just going to stop right here. Being that I have had a little bit of a house guest, he just kind of appeared out of nowhere. The man, the myth, the legend.
Somebody called me God of the Highway lately on something, and so my buddy started calling me Lord. Started teasing me about it.
Yeah, the internet can be a strange place for strange comments like that. But anyway, I guess that cuts it. But as always, you guys keep the rubber side down and be good to yourselves, all right? And thanks a lot.